AI helps us to create more convenient lives. It helps take some labor out of our lives. And it has the promise of helping us in a variety of settings, from healthcare to banking to energy, you name it. Those are all very important industries, of course, and as AI becomes more ubiquitous within our lives, then becomes really important that AI is reflective of our values. And that's where the ethical piece comes in. We have to make sure that AI is sufficiently trustworthy, that it is adequately transparent, that we have appropriate levels of explainability, etc. And so the ethical part of that is simply to make sure that the AI is representative of the values that we all hold dear. Well, at SAS, we think about this in terms of what it takes to activate AI from an oversight, a controls perspective, in addition to some of the cultural and operational aspects. But then there's also the technology part of that, and we think about that in terms of the data management necessary, the explainability stuff, the detection for bias, the ability to govern and operationalize models in ways that are not harmful at the end of the day. And so all of those elements come together to create what we would consider an ethical or trustworthy AI paradigm. So that would be the way that I would respond to that. So from an equity and responsibility perspective, if you dig into that particular report, what we see is that those organizations that consider themselves the most resilient look at a couple of things with respect to equity. They look at data quality, and they also look at trustworthy AI. Data quality, making sure that the data that they use to build their models, to build their AI, is understood, that it's sourced from places that are objective, or if they're not, that they understand what the biases associated with them might be, and then that they're also keeping eyes on what the regulatory environment looks like and using their data and their AI models in ways that are deemed to be appropriate. Now, there's still some room for guardrails, and we're seeing governments act in that respect to make sure that we all see the same way as it relates to what appropriate use is. And so that work is underway. One more thing I'll say about the conversation that's taking place about ethical or responsible AI is that responsible AI has to be accompanied with responsible rhetoric about AI. We have a lot of conversation right now in the industry about existential risk and how AI is going to bring the end of humanity. And I think it's really important that we are responsible as AI experts, as people in industry, as we talk about this technology, such that we don't scare people. Now, there are definitely harms to be concerned about. Some are more immediate than others. But I do think that it's important that we not scare society as it relates to this conversation about AI. We need to make people aware about what the real issues are, what the real concerns ought to be, and then let's leave the science fiction for the movies.